All right, brothers and sisters, it's Elijah L. You know, I just washed my hair, so it's a little fluffy right now, right? I'm gonna add some more to this Freemason. This is gonna be part 2 of the video. I watched the first video a couple of times, and I've seen a whole lot that I left out. I'm gonna start off with the Rosicrucians. Okay, the Rosicrucians, their society, let me say this. In Freemasonry, okay, each independent lodge is governed by a grand lodge, okay? You need to understand that. So, for instance, like each city or jurisdiction or whatever may have a lodge, okay? And those lodges have a number, all right? But then there's a grand lodge, okay, that governs the entire body, all right? So these independent lodges are like under the umbrella of the grand lodge. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. I don't want you to be misconstrued about black Freemasonic lodges. Okay, they only have they only study the blue degrees. Okay, and what the blue degrees is basically the first 3 degrees. I think I might have mentioned that. All right, they can't go beyond the first 3 degrees. Black lodges are also made up of what's called 3-letter and 4-letter lodges, all right, and each one believes that they have more goddamn knowledge than the other. You understand what I'm saying? So you may see some shit like this, the Prince Hall, and then you may see like free and accepted Masons, F and AM. Okay, that means free and accepted Masons. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's considered a 3-letter lodge. Okay. And far as white Freemasonry, there's a whole lot of different factions of white Freemasonry. Okay, and you also have what's called Jewish Freemasonry. You also have Arab Freemasonry or Islamic Freemasonry. Okay, and it's really like a Hermetic higher study, but it's a Masonic form of Islam. All right, it's called Sufism. All right, one of their lodges is like the Order of the Green Light, and things of that nature. A lot of them deal with green and light. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, light is always the premise of behind all Freemasonry. It represents knowledge, and with each degree, okay, it's you're seeking the excuse me, I had to scratch my back. You're out to attain more light. Jeez, where my back scratcher at? Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Just got the shower. You know how that some of them soaps are harsh, and what the shampoo I use dries my skin out, especially my back, because it runs down my back. Let me pause this for 1 second. We're back. All right, so it like Jewish Freemasonry would be things like Kabbalah, okay, and Kabbalah is basically the mystical tradition of Judaism, all right. But then there's like darker sides and what's called like white, like how I explained to you, white and dark magic. Well, you also have that in Judaism, okay. Kabbalah would be pretty much composite. You know what I mean? Because you can do both with Kabbalah, okay? You can do dark Kabbalah or light Kabbalah. You understand what I'm saying? Kabbalah means to receive. It does have rituals. It has all of the goddamn same constructs of basic magic, all right? You're dealing with the basic premise that governs most Kabbalah is going to be the tree of life. All right. The tree of life is made up of 10 Sephirah, but there is 11th Sephirah known as Dayat, which means knowledge. But Dayat is like it's usually not included in the basic tree of life. Okay. You have different types of constructs of the tree of life, in which you may have the tree of life stacked on top of each other. Some may call that Jacob's ladder. It's made up of 4 worlds, okay? The top 3 worlds are called the 3 supernals, of course, also known as the Trinity, all right? It's made up of Keter, Keter, Bina, and Hokmah, all right? Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, the crown, you know what I mean, represents Keter. But then there's a principle above that, which is Ein Sof Or. You may hear brothers like A. Rashid say that Ein Sof or, you know what I mean? Of course, Hebrew is a phonetic language, so you're dealing with the sounds because it's based on all consonants and no vowels. So you would have like R, Ein, Ah, Sof, Saw, or Asor. You know, understand what I'm saying? He breaks it down like that. A. Rashid, you know, he's good, man. He's good. He's good. He taught himself most of that shit on his prison bit. Same as me. You know, most of the shit that I learned in prison. You know what I mean? And you know, I say this humbly, but yo, you gotta respect the game. You dig what I'm saying? Any brother that can do that under those type of conditions, you know what I'm saying? It's very impressive. You know what I mean? I walked out of prison giving myself a pretty good education. You dig what I'm saying? And those books are pretty hard to get in prison. All right. But I was able to tap into a place where that shipped books to prison. And that's what I bought with my commissary money. You know what I mean? I wasn't buying all that bullshit and goddamn $20 Newports and shit. You know. But anyway, okay, so yeah, the Black Lodges, you got like Enoch Lodges, Prince Hall Lodges, and all that type of shit. And I don't know if y'all brothers know, but Prince Hall, he wanted to receive a charter from Freemasonry here in America, all right? But American Freemasonry would not grant him a charter from either of the Grand Lodges, okay? The Grand Lodge of the Scottish Rite or the Grand Lodge of the York Rite, okay? Both the Scottish Rite and the York Rite do come from, you know, over Western Europe, all right? But they brought it over here, okay? What happened is how Jewish Freemasonry, or what's called Illuminism, all right? You have Illuminism, Illuminati. You might hear the term Illuminati. Well, that's the other branch of Jewish Freemasonry, okay? I told you there's Kabbalah, and then the other one is Illuminism, or the Illuminati. Now, the term Illuminati is a very broad term, okay? And unless you're dealing in specifics, all right, it's pretty much like trying to grab smoke, okay? It's so broad of a term, and that's why it's easily to be repudiated as a myth, or those that aren't like well learned in what Illuminism truly is. They can easily be you know what I mean, brushed off as being a conspiracy theorist. You understand what I'm saying? But basic Illuminati or Illuminism comes out of Europe, comes out of Germany, specifically. Its initial idea came by way of Rothschild, but he used a man by the name of Adam Weishaupt, okay, to put into motion, all right, the premise that he came up with, all right. And it was Adam Weishaupt in a place called Ingolstadt, Germany. Ingolstadt University in Bavaria, Germany, in 1776. May 1st is where the Illuminati, or the Jewish mystical sect of Freemasonry, got its birth, okay. It's known as the Bavarian faction of the Illuminati, all right? Illuminism has two factions, the Bavarian faction, which is the origin, the German faction, okay? And then you have what's called the Colombian faction, which is the United States faction, all right? The father of the Colombian faction of the Illuminati is no other than Ben Franklin, okay? Ben Franklin was traveling back and forth to France, where Rothschild lived at that time, okay? Visiting Rothschild, all right? And his job given by Rothschild was to infiltrate American Freemasonry, all right? And introduce the philosophy of Illuminism, all right? The Illuminati philosophy, okay? Very early on, it was caught by American Freemasons, okay? And it was repudiated by men such as Thomas Paine, who wrote the book Common Sense. Who else? Who else repudiated it? Alexander Hamilton, with the Federalist Papers and things of that nature. These individuals knew what Franklin was up to, and they did all they could to try to stop Luminism from infiltrating American Freemasonry, okay? American Freemasonry, the first sect to begin over here was the York Rite, okay? Was York Rite Freemasonry. It pretty much came up out of York, Pennsylvania, and that Pennsylvania area again, that Ben Franklin and all that piece. You understand what I'm saying? Lancaster, York, Harrisburg. That's why Harrisburg is the capital, because that was the main hub of Pennsylvania York Rite Freemasonry, along with York, Pennsylvania. But if you know Pennsylvania, they all next door neighbors. You got Harrisburg, Lancaster, and York, all right there. You know what I'm saying? I lived in York. York is heavily Freemasonic. I urge a lot of you individuals out there, if you're intrigued or interested in things like Freemasonry, once you learn, take a walk, take tours around your city. When I was running with Coakley, like 80, I met him in 87. We was running around 88. Me, Coakley, Hightower, who else was with us? Hebrew, Brother Hebrew. Who else was with us? Lyle Grandison. I don't know if y'all know the Baltimore crew and shit. But Coakley fucked with Baltimore heavy. Baltimore, LA, was his homes away from homes. You know what I mean? He fucked with the good life out in LA real heavy. And here in Baltimore, you know what I mean? He fucked with Brother Nati at everyone's place. But it was me, Coakley, Hightower, I can remember, Hebrew, Lyle. I was driving because Coakley didn't drive. We drove down to Alexandria, Virginia to hit the George Washington Masonic Temple. You know what I mean? Unlike most Masonic lodges, white lodges, the George Washington Masonic Lodge is open to the public every day of the week, I guess, except holidays or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's an active lodge or if it's just like a museum type shit. But they got some shit up in there, okay? But it's kind of set up for tours. They have a lot of pamphlets and shit like that they'll give you. They got shit that they sell and shit like that. Coakley and us, we stole a lot of the shit that was for sale also. And I remember we walked away with some pretty good shit. Certain floors they restricted us on, you know what I mean? Coakley at the time, that's when he had Freedom Fighters University. He had the key symbol with the eye on it. All right, it was the keyhole symbol, and then the circle at the top of the keyhole symbol, there was an eye. You know what I mean? So they saw the shit, and they didn't know who the fuck we was. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know who the fuck we was, and they didn't recognize Steve at the time. You know what I mean? But Steve at that time was deep into the Jews' ass, and you know they was fucking with Steve heavy. All right, a couple years prior, he had just left Chicago after being fired from under Harold Washington. He had started doing some things there, but Chicago got a little too hot for the brother, and the brother had to pretty much, it was in his best interest to flee and do his work on the underground and in motion. You dig what I'm saying? In a guerrilla type style. But back to what I was telling you. The American Franklin and shit tried to infiltrate American Freemasonry, right? And he was given some resistance from some of the men that I mentioned. But eventually, Illuminism did infiltrate and take over American Freemasonry. And that's where you got the birth of the second faction of Illuminism, called the Columbian faction. And that's where you get District of Columbia, Columbia Records, which has an eye symbol. Okay, Columbia Pictures, which has a woman holding the torch. Okay, again, the torch represents Illuminism. The Statue of Liberty is a Illuminati. It's a French. It was given by the French, one of the hubs of European Freemasonry. Okay, like I told you, Rothschild was living in France. Okay, so, and that is the symbol of Columbia Pictures. It's I don't even call it the Statue of Liberty. I just call it the goddamn whore. The whore with the fucking torch. You know what I mean? The lumen whore. You dig what I'm saying? Because that's how the Bible describes her. You know what I mean? As the whore. Okay? With the scarlet robe. You dig what I'm saying? And the crown. You dig? That came up out of the sea. You understand what I'm saying? So that's that bitch. All right? You have Columbia CBS, Columbia Broadcasting System. Everybody knows the CBS logo is the eye. You understand what I'm saying? So again, you have Columbia you know, you have Freemasonic symbology embedded inside of the Columbia faction of Freemasonry, and it's all around you. You know what I'm saying? What else? Let's see. And again, like I said, blacks cannot attend no white lodges. Back to Prince Hall. Prince Hall tried to receive a charter. He asked for a charter from American Freemasonry. They denied the charter, okay? Because again, whites do not recognize niggas as being Freemasons. They don't respect niggas as Freemasons, okay? And to be real honest with you, black Freemasonry has no goddamn secrets. They pretty much are now a goddamn church auxiliary group, okay, with no more goddamn authoritative shit beyond like a goddamn fraternity or sorority lodge. All right, they just a group that's tight, that looks out for each other and discuss some little bit of shit. You know what I mean? In the first video, I also talked to you about 3 stories, all right, pertaining to the building of the Second Temple by Solomon, and I told you about the Testament of Solomon, okay? That one of the other stories is a Freemasonic story known as the Temple Legend, okay? Or you might hear it called the story of the widow's son, all right? But it's most commonly known as the Temple Legend, all right? And that's the story of Hiram Abiff, all right? Solomon, like I said, the men that he had working there, they wasn't proficient enough to understand, to get the blueprint right and build a temple to the you know, the specs that it was supposed to be built. But according to the Temple Legend, he was told about a man named Hiram Abiff. Now, parts of this legend, the Temple Legend, is in the Bible. Okay, they call him in the Bible, I think, Hiram of Tyre. Tyre or some shit like that, Tyre or some shit like that, right? And of course, white folks try to make him into a white man, okay? So I think I told you before, the story goes in the Temple Legend, and it's also performed as a ceremony in Freemasonry. Whenever a new candidate is brought into a lodge, he must go through the Temple Legend story in the form of a ritual or ceremony, all right? The candidate is blindfolded, all right? One pants leg is rolled up to the knee, okay? His shirt is either torn, all right, or what they'll do is they'll tuck it in, and then they'll pull parts of the shirt hanging out and leave parts tucked in, and then they'll unbutton the shirt, usually down to around the solar plexus or right around the navel, to kind of give the look that he's been roughed up. All right, because they're known that the people who accost them, Jubilee, Jubilo, Jubilum, are known also as the 3 ruffians. All right, the candidate is walked around the lodge, okay, in a counterclockwise motion. All right, he's walked around the lodge. All right, and first he's accosted by the first ruffian, Jubilee. All right, and Jubilee says something to the effect of, Hiram, I demand the secrets to building the temple, okay? And Hiram says, I will not give you the secret. And Jubilee strikes him in the head with a plumb bob, or what's called a setting maul, all right? This is like, I'm sure you've seen them. You've probably seen some real old wooden ones in some of the ancient Egypt artifacts, all right? I don't really know how to describe a setting maul. All I can do is tell you Google the shit. All right, Google a plumb bob or setting maul, and you'll see a picture of it. All right, it's used to tap the brick in place till it's leveled. All right, into the mortar. Okay, cement or mortar. All right. Again, he's walked around a second time. Okay, and then he's accosted by the second ruffian. Okay, which is Jubilo. All right, and again it repeats. Jubilo says to him, Hiram, I demand the secrets of building the temple, because Hiram again is the only one that knows how to do the shit. All right, and Hiram refuses, and then he's struck in the throat with a compass. All right, and of course we know what a compass is. It looks like this. Okay, looks like that, and it has usually a pencil on one side and a pinpoint on the other side, and it's used to draw circumferences, all right, to make circles, okay. And then you have the third one, Jubileum, all right, who accosts him, and he then, when Hiram refuses, he's struck in the chest with a square, okay. Now, a square is the ruler that's shaped like an L, all right. It's at 90 degrees, okay. 90 degrees, it's very important. And again, I told you once before in one of my earlier videos, when you're performing magic rituals or things like that, in order to get the most power, when you're calling forth, invoking or evoking spirits, whether they're good spirits or whether they're fallen angels, demons, okay, you must be in 360 degrees, all right? And this is why also Muslims pray on a rug, okay? The rug is 360 degrees. It's made up of 490-degree angles, okay? When I pray, I stand in a square. If I stand up and pray, I stand in a floor tile on my floor, okay? That's a square, all right? Or I do it on a rug, that's a square, or a circle, okay? This will always maximize your prayers, and it will protect you from being messed with by demons while you pray, okay? What else? Okay, so that's the legend of the temple legend right there. What another story of the temple being built? I told you the Testament of Solomon, in which he had the demons build it. That's the temple legend. I think there's another one, but it's not coming to mind right now. All right. So that's basically more that I got to add to it on Jewish Freemasonry, Kabbalah. What else? I gave you explained to you about the Tree of Life, made up of 10 Sephirah. The three ruffians again has a phonetic strength to the names Jubilah, Jubilo, Jubilum, and it's the Om. It's the Om. Okay, the Om. That's a frequency. Okay, that's a frequency that's used to raise Kundalini. All right, to activate the pineal gland. Okay, and it begins to activate the Kundalini rising up the spinal cord. All right, and of course, I'm sure by now most of you know that the spine is made up of 32 discs, and at the 33rd point is where the spine meets where the top of the spine meets the cord stem of the brain, where the pineal gland sits. All right. It's also where they crucified Jesus at the age of 33, and the Bible said at a place called Golgotha. All right, and Golgotha means place of the skulls. Okay, so again, they crucified him at the age of 33, which is the 33 disc of the spine at the top, where it meets the cord of your brain, where the pineal gland sits. All right, the Bible is full of a lot of allegory. Okay, a whole lot of allegory. All right, so unless you're learned and that's why it's good to study these things like Freemasonry, Kabbalah, and things like that. It will help you learn the secrets of scriptures and everything. And these things aren't scripture, aren't allegory because they're fake. They're allegory because God put it that way, and so that until the right time, these things could be revealed by individuals he would send to reveal it. One of the best teachers on these particular subjects is a man by the name of Mark Passio, P-A-S-S-I-O. He has a lot of videos on YouTube. He's one of the best. Okay, Terrence McKenna, he's another one, but he's not as good as Mark. Mark come up under Terrence. They're probably two of the best that's out there. All right, but Terrence McKenna, he leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? He's in the shit like using drugs and shit. You could achieve, you could transcendent, okay, or what's called have an out of body experience as far as like astral projection and shit like that. You can do it by way of study, meditation, all right, which is the proper way of doing it, okay? But you can also do these things by way of drugs, okay? Psychedelic drugs, all right? But that's like, you're like forcing your way into that world. You understand what I'm saying? You're not transcending gradually. You understand? By degree. You know what I mean? And that's a dangerous process, okay? Because in those other worlds, all right, there are angels and demons and things of that nature, and they will come for you. You know, when they see you and shit, some will try to get you. Some will try to take over your body, okay? That's why I said you can provoke a spirit or a demon or an angel, or you can evoke, or you can invoke, okay? Evoke means you're calling this spirit or entity forth. Okay, you can call it forth in ceremonial magic, all right, to question it, all right. Certain ones have certain skills, okay. Certain demons have certain skills. You can find these things I told you in the Ars Goetia, Arsgoetia. You can also find it in the Lesser Key of Solomon if you want to learn about some of the geometric floor drawings and constructs for performing ceremonial magic. You can find that in like the days and the hours in which angels govern certain days and what hours, and what planets govern certain things and which hours. There's also certain mantras such as Om, Om, like that, right? For you to say, to meditate and transcend into these things. There are certain colors also. In performing like Freemason rituals and everything, you have certain things. They'll give you certain colors that the banner should be. It should be a gold banner with purple trimming, you know what I mean, and tassels. You know, they'll describe it like that. By the way, hold on, I'm going to show you some Freemasonic books, okay, that has ceremonies in it for Scottish Rite Freemasonry, York Rite Freemasonry, and Knight Templar Freemasonry. Stay tuned. Hold on. Okay, brothers and sisters, I'm back. All right. Now, here's one book right here. Okay, here's one on Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Let's see if we can get that. Okay. This is a blue book. This is an actual book that's used by Scottish Rite Masons. You can get hold of these things if you try hard enough. There you see the two-headed phoenix or eagle. It's facing opposite ways. Again, Freemasonry is based on paired opposites, okay? It's a Hermetic law, all right? Law of opposites. It has the pyramid at the top of the head and the illumination stemming from it. It has the upside down pyramid at the top. It's so small you can't see. And it has the Hebrew letter Hey. Okay, that's the Hebrew letter Hey. All right? What else is there? And that's basically it. And actually, the original symbol is a phoenix, but on this it's eagles. Okay, two opposing eagles, facing opposite ways. You may also see the symbols of Janus. Janus is a head, two heads facing opposite directions. Again, it's a Freemasonic symbol, the symbol of Janus. All right. You have things such as ceremonies in here. Okay, it shows you all the different ceremonies, how to perform them, how the lodge is to be decorated, and all of that shit. All right, I'll show you some. All the different, all the skills, and it starts this particular book. Okay, let's see. Trying to help you see this right. Let me try it this way. Okay, so if you know, it shows you different things. This says signs of order. What it says? Signs of order. Place left hand over right heart. That's the sign of the order. It's just the left hand over the heart. It shows you how to do certain do guards. Okay, they're known as do guards. All right, positions, how to stand, how to, you know, they're known as, each one is known as a do guard. Okay, here. Wow, here's a picture of a candidate being brought into Freemasonry. There's the candidate on his knees right there. Again, you see he's blindfolded. One pants leg is rolled up, shirt torn. Okay, one off each shoulder. All right. Here's another picture of how the candidate should be dressed. Okay, see that? Right leg rolled up to the right pants leg rolled up to the knee. Shirt off, you know, torn halfway off one shoulder on the other. Okay, you also may see it like I described. It may give him a torn shirt, period. Let's see. Here's, you know, they have the handshakes in there. I'm going to show you a plumb bob too. Okay. You got all the handshakes in there. Okay. The handshake of a ended apprentice, the handshake of a fellow craft, the handshake of a master mason, things like that. Let's see if I can find you a plumb bob real quick. Here's an ended apprentice grip. Okay, as you see, the thumb is placed on the knuckle of the first forefinger to indicate that he's a ended apprentice. Here's another photo of the candidate, again, kneeling down at the altar. In Islamic Freemasonry, they have a Bible on the altar. All right. In Scottish Rite, York Rite Freemasonry, they use a Bible. Okay. In Jewish Freemasonry, they use a Torah. All right. Let's see. Here's some more. Here's some photos. Okay. This is the entire ceremony is in this book. Okay. There's Hiram being accosted by the first ruffian. There's Hiram being accosted by the second ruffian. They usually grab both, put both hands one on each shoulder and shake them. You know what I mean? Like rough them up. You know what I'm saying? Then he's pushed back onto the sheet. He don't know a sheet is there, but they push him back real hard. But there's other masons there to catch him. Then they lower him to the floor. Then they recite some more of the ceremony. Reach down, raise him to a living perpendicular. Feet standing at 90 degrees. Heel to heel at a 90-degree angle. Now he's raised to a living perpendicular. All right. Here's some more do-guards. Some more do-guards. How to greet a mason. 5 points of fellowship. Toe to toe. Knee to knee. What is it? Toe to toe, knee to knee. Breast to breast. Cheek to cheek. Something like that. Oh, yeah. The handshake. Hand to hand. Oh, okay. Let me start from the bottom up. It's toe to toe. Knee to knee. All right. Breast to breast. Hand to hand. Cheek to cheek. 5 points of fellowship. When the master mason greets another master mason. All right. These are all do-guards. I got all the different handshakes, okay, in there. And detailed explanation of how the handshake is to be carried out and done. All the do-guards. Okay. It has the entire, all the way up to 33 degrees. Here's how the first page looks. I'll leave that up so you can see it. I can't read backwards, but the complete ritual, ancient and accepted Scottish rite, right? And I'll let you see. I can't remember what the symbolic grades. Okay, this one goes all the way up to the 33rd, which is it's an official grade. It's the Sovereign Grand Inspector General degree. Okay, here it is. Hope y'all guys can see that. Just try to do the best I can for y'all, man. You could pause it if you want, you know what I mean? So you could read it. If I took it away too fast. Okay, so that's the book on Scottish Rite Freemasonry right there. Here's Knight Templar Freemasonry. I guess I didn't grab the York Rite Freemasonry one. Again, like I told you, I'm sorry. Okay. This one has how many degrees in this one? Secret Master degree. I think this one might got 20 degrees. No, it's 13. Yeah, Scott. That's right. Knight Templar had the same as York, right? 13 degrees. Okay, so here's the 13th final degree right here. How it looks. You know what I mean? It goes up to 13 degrees. Here's the book. This is the actual book used by lodge members. You can get these books. Okay? They're always going to be blue. If it ain't blue, it ain't real. It ain't the real shit. Again, breaks down all the symbols. It has their ritual in it for them. Breaks down all the symbols. All right, the 3 types of brick: smooth ashlar, rough ashlar, or what's called a perfect ashlar. Trestle board. Okay, each one has symbols and meanings. The meanings of these things. Gavel. Levels. They have symbolic meaning, like with the compass. It draws circles, circumference. With that, we circumscribe our conduct. You know what I mean? We circumscribe our conduct. Some things you just don't do. You know? To keep ourselves, together. It says the compasses. Here we go, compass. And it breaks down the meaning of it. I'm trying to find a setting mark. But you could get hold of this stuff, man. It ain't hard. Here you go. They call it a mallet on here, but it's known as a setting maul. Okay. See that? That's what it looked like right there. All right. And that's like I said. That's how you set the stone. All right. This is a greater key of Solomon. This will give you the geometric floor plans that Solomon came up with for holding demons and spirits. Okay? How to draw these floor patterns and things when performing ceremonial magic. Alright? See if I can find some more for you. There's a bunch of them in here. Okay, here's a bunch. Okay? There's a hexagram. And those names around are in Hebrew, but they're names of the Most High. Okay? Right here in the middle, you see Agalar, one of the names. That's what is that? Trying to see backwards. That's Aleph. That's Aleph. I'm trying to point to it. That's Aleph, Lamed, Aleph, Gimel. Okay? Aleph, Gimel, Lamed, Aleph, Agalar. Okay? One of the names of the Most High. The Most High has a lot of names. Alright? On some of these, let's see. I wonder if you can see it like that. I hope so, because I can't tell if you can see the shit or not. I hope y'all can see that. But that's some of them. Okay. Here's some more. Let me just make sure y'all can see the shit. With me doing it, y'all can't see it. Okay? Miss Solomon came up with all of these that are done in ceremonial magic. Certain ones have certain for certain things, okay? Like for instance, let's see. One says this: the second pinnacle of Venus. Second pinnacle of Venus. Pinnacles are also proper for obtaining grace and honor, and for all things which belong to Venus, for accomplishing all thy desires herein. All right. The letters round and within the pentagram form the names of spirits of Venus. The versicle is from Canticles. Place me as a signet upon thine heart, as a signet upon thine arm, for love is strong as death. Okay. Here's this what says, the pinnacle of Venus, This if it be only shown unto any person, serveth to attract love. Its angel Monachio should be invoked in the day and hour of Venus at 1 o'clock or at 8. The following names are written within. And then you have the IHVH, okay? It's like the tetragrammaton, but with the I in the front. Adonai, Ruach, okay? Ruach means spirit, all right? Ruach HaKodesh, okay? Ruach, Achilles, Agal, Agomiel, something like that. Monachiel, the Galiel. It says that this versicle is from Genesis 1:28. And the Elohim blessed them, and the Elohim said unto them, Be you fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it. Okay? So, you have just different ones, right? And this is all made by Solomon. Solomon made a whole bunch of, once he learned, he wrote a whole bunch of stuff, but only a few survived, okay? One of the others that survived was Solomon's, that's the greater key of Solomon, and here's his lesser key. This one names all the demons, okay? This is how it looks. How it looks. All right. Each demon has its own signature. Okay. And they have, remember I told you, they have ranks. All right. For instance, here you go. Let's see. Amdusius, right? It says the 67th spirit is Amdusius or Amducius. He is a duke, great and strong, appearing at first like a unicorn, but at the request of the exorcist, he stands before him in human shape, causing trumpets and all manner of musical instruments to be heard, but not soon or immediately. He can cause trees to bend and incline according to the exorcist's will. He giveth excellent familiars. He governs 29 legions of spirits, and his seal is this right here. Okay? Belial. This is the head angel, all right? Baal or Belial. Remember I told you, I mentioned in the first one that Lucifer is not the head demon. It's Baal or Belial. There's usually Baal. It says Belial. The 68th spirit is Belial. He is a mighty and a powerful king and was created next after Lucifer. It says he appears in the form of two beautiful angels sitting in a chariot of fire. He speaketh with a comely voice and declares that he fell first from among the worthier sort. That's what they call themselves. All right, worthier sort. Because they feel as though they were right in what they done, all right, and they're rebelling against the Most High, okay, that were before Michael and other heavenly angels. His office is to distribute presentations and senatorships, etc., and to cause favor and friends and cause favor of friends and of foes. He gives excellent familiars and governs 50 legions of spirits. Note that this King Belial must have offerings, sacrifices, gifts presented unto him by the exorcist, or else he will not give true answers unto his demands. But then he tarrieth not 1 hour in the truth. So he don't tell the truth much. If you conjure this motherfucker, and you ask him for certain, for information. See, conjuring demons is all about information. You ask these motherfuckers about information. Now, I don't perform or do none of this shit, but I have the knowledge of, I study the knowledge of some of this stuff because, The scriptures say we're not battling flesh and blood. We battling principalities. We battling spirits, goddamn demons that are around you. In fact, in the what is that book? In the Zohar, it speaks that demons are around you so thick at all times, like a thick suit. You know what I mean? At all times, they're around you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to stay protected. You have to stay prayed up and stuff like that, man. But the first chief demon is Baal. I'm going to show you him. It said that Belial is after Lucifer. Lucifer ain't even first. He's like 12 or something. But this is Solomon's work. Okay? I'll read you the head one, which I'm sure is Baal. The Bible speaks of Baal a lot. It is Baal. That's the first head dude, Baal. And this is also known as the Ars Gosha or the Shem Hamfarish. All right? Shem, Ham, Farash. Okay? You have both tribes that are black, Shem and Ham, Farash. I don't know what Farash means. All right? But this is black work. This is our stuff. Written by our ancestor Solomon. And he say he black in the Bible 3 times. Baal. Okay, he remade you this stuff for you to protect yourself and told you how to use it and things of that nature. But you should not do this stuff until you are well learned. I would take, if I was to try to perform these things, you know, because you can combat these demons, because that's eventually what he did. Solomon started doing it and he went astray for a second, but he repented and the Lord took him back and forgave him messing around with that damn girl. The first principal spirit, Baal, the first principal spirit. He's the first. He's way over Lucifer. Lucifer he's not the top dude. The first principal spirit is a king ruling in the east called Baal. Okay? That's why I don't pray to the east. I don't do that shit. I don't do that shit at all. Okay? Do you know this? God's seat is in the north. See? You see how the devil deceives people? They got Muslims and shit bowing down, prostrating to the east, towards the sun. Sun worship. Yeah? That Egyptian shit. Okay? That raw shit. Alright? And to y'all Egypt Kemet loving ones, Kemet was an enemy of God, of the Most High, not a friend. Okay? He was an enemy of Black Zion, Israel, and he was an enemy of the Most High. He destroyed them. Remember? They would call themselves gods. Okay? And God says that I am a jealous God. There is no other God but me. These niggas running around calling themselves gods. Egyptians did not wear hair on their face. Hebrews did. If you look at some of the paintings and shit in ancient Egypt, you will not, or the statues, you will never see an Egyptian with a real beard. They used to put on, glue on these fake pieces down on their chin, right? But they didn't wear beards. You never see a picture of an Egyptian with a beard, okay? But the Hebrews that they had captive for a while, you'll see them working and shit. And if they got a beard and they're dark complexion, those are the Hebrews, okay? A Hebrew must have a beard, all right? Baal, the first principal spirit, is a king ruling in the east, called Baal. He maketh thee to go invisible. He ruleth over 66 legions of infernal spirits. Now he's ruling in hell. Okay? Infernal spirits. All right? Infernal. Prefix infernal. Fire. All right? Or furnace. In burning. Okay? In hell. He appeareth in divers shapes, sometimes like a cat, sometimes like a toad, and sometimes like a man, and sometimes all these forms at once. He speaketh hoarsely. This is his character, which is used to be warned as a layman before him who calleth him forth, else he would not do thee homage. Now I'm gonna tell you this shit too. I've had people like talk to me, right? And because I read this book and know how some of these demons present themselves, I knew that this individual was a demon. See, once you get powerful, right? And once you get close to God through prayer and you start doing His work, like, you know, I do God's work out and about. Everywhere I go, I'm about the Lord and about doing what He got for me to do, my purpose, my promise, right? These spirits know who you are. Okay, they know who you are. They'll try to touch you, shake your hand, and all that type of stuff. Okay, so you have to stay prayed up and protected. All right, you have to, you know their different attributes and how the forms that they can appear themselves in. You'll find that here in the Lesser Key of Solomon. Okay, so you had a greater key that tells you the geometrics, how to draw the things for performing ceremonial magical rituals. You have the lesser key that show you certain spirits and everything. If you want to know the names of the angels, you can find them out too. The heavenly angels, not the fallen ones. Okay. Kabbalah, again, I was telling you about Kabbalah. Kabbalah has certain, also just like magic, there's certain colors and things that give you strength, certain mantras, tones to be, repeated over and over again. I'll show you some examples. When performing certain rituals of transcending meditation rituals, okay? So here you go. All right. Archetypal world absolute. All right. Keter, this is the crown, the first Sephiroth. Its location on the cosmic tree of life is at the top center. The archetypal world, remember I told you, is 4 worlds. And this world is in absolute. Okay. One of the other ones is Yetzirah. Another one is Berea. I can't remember the 4th one. Okay. Human function, will and humility. Okay. Body part, exterior, top of the head. This is where on you. The sacred name for the crown is Iai. Now Iai, you can see that right there. You could this one is Ahaya. Okay, Ahaya. But there's another one that's Iai, another name for God. So you have Ahaya here, you have Yah here, Elohim here, Elohim, right? So there's many names for the Most High. On this one, it's El. This one, Elohim again. This one is the Tetragrammaton, the unpronounceable name. This one is Zevat. There are different names for God in Hebrew, okay? But this is Kabbalah. Like I said, there's certain things that, like, the body part here is the right leg. You know what I mean? The color for it is red. So when you're performing these meditations and everything in Kabbalah, right? You will know how to raise the Kundalini, okay? And what you're doing is you're starting off from the bottom, Malkut, which is the kingdom, all right, the earth, okay? And what you're doing is you're transcending up the ladder. Now here's where God sits, okay? But there's 4 worlds, all right? And you're in this world down here, this bottom world, okay, of Malkut. So what you're doing, you're going to different planes, basically, all right? But it's dangerous because if you're not well learned, and people have gone crazy doing this, all right? Folks have did all types of things, you know what I mean? There are things such as hellhounds that come for them. And that's usually done when people take drugs to try to force their way into these different planes and worlds, all right? By way of drugs, psychedelic drugs. So you're not going to do it by degree and through right training and learning and meditation. You're going to cut. You want to shortcut and just go ahead dead in. You know what I mean? Break your way through into those worlds. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And that's where you end up messing up. All right, so I'm going to wrap this one up. This is Brother Larry L. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.